A hockey skate. The number 27 written on the inside of the boot. A name hard to make out on the underside. To whom did it belong? What are we looking at here?
We're looking at my right skate of the skates that I wore when we played the Russians in the 1980 Olympics.
Phil Verkota played left wing for the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, a team that defied all expectations and did what no one thought even possible. His fellow University of Minnesota Gopher, Bill Baker, was a defenseman on the team. You have something in the Smithsonian as well. What is it?
I do. I have my jersey that I wore at the Smithsonian displayed there.
Both played for Coach Herb Brooks at the U. Brooks was a wizard of wrestling his players' emotions and bodies into championship condition.
I don't know that I ever felt like you ever really had your job secured based upon how you played last week, and it was how you did in practice.
We joke about it that we'd get out of shape on the weekends playing games.
Brooks became coach of the U.S. Olympic team. Both Verkota and Baker made the roster. The average age of the squad, 21, the youngest national team at the games.
Currently, professionals can play in the Olympics, but in 1980, it was still considered a place for amateurs. Countries such as the Soviet Union had amateurs that were actually professionals. It was their full-time occupation was to play hockey.
Just days before the Winter Games were to begin, the Soviets arrived at Madison Square Garden in New York to face off in an exhibition against the young Americans. How good were these guys?
I've never seen it when you go out on the ice for warm-ups. Our guys were actually standing there, and I'm guilty. I was doing the same thing, watching them warm up. And then we stood around and watched them play for 3 periods.
The Russians won 10-3.
Brooks told all who would hear, come the Olympics, the U.S. didn't have a chance.
The gold medal, give it to the Russians, let them go home.
But if the Americans were to have a prayer to get to the medal round, they would need a win or at minimum a tie against the skillful Swedes. The Scandinavians, though, looked to have the game in hand. 27 seconds left.
Right.
You're down by 1. Mm-hmm. Who scores the tying goal?
Me, Dr. Baker.
29 seconds to play. Baker on it!
Remember it well.
Thrust into the medal round, the American boys would first face the same Soviets who embarrassed them just days before. Herb Brooks, though, had the right words at the right time, words his players will never forget.
You're born to be a player. You know, you're meant to be here.
You're born to be a player. You're meant to be here. This moment is yours.
Somehow, Team USA stayed with the Soviets through the first period, astonished perhaps to be down only 2-1.
Somehow Mark Johnson gets it.
Saved by Tretiak, but Johnson is there and scores!
We're tied.
1 second left.
The crowd chanted, the building throbbing. But their opponents were bigger, faster, stronger, best illustrated when Bill Baker's stick gets caught in a Soviet skate.
This is how strong these guys were. So I'm thinking, okay, I got him now, right? So now I'm going to knock him over. I go, just stop, boom, just nothing. I'm like, uh-oh. So he takes it and goes, hands it to me. I'm like, thank you.
Remarkably, the game was still tied in the final period, and that is when perhaps the single most astounding moment in Winter Games history occurred.
Too many good saves. Erozione! Mike Erozione!
Bill Baker's celebration on the ice captured in this photo.
If you look at it from different angles, it looks like it might have tipped it. I think Michigan thought I was going to.
But I would have to look at it again because maybe it did.
Well, no, it didn't.
Even Brooks, ever somber, broke into a smile. Did you both believe at that moment, maybe we can win this thing?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
10 minutes, a long time.
Oh, yeah, very long.
I remember Herbie saying,
Play our game.
We've got to play our game too.
And that they did, leaving the Soviets stunned.
People always ask, "Hey, how did you feel after?" I don't know how do you describe that feeling?
Yeah,
of beating the best team in the world.
The miracle was beating the Soviets, but to earn the gold, there was one more game, Finland. This time, Phil Verkota scored a crucial goal.
The Moxie there, Phil Verkota has just scored.
It wasn't a very hard shot, but ended up in the net. Boy, was I happy.
Verkota's tying goal helped Team USA to a win. The gold medal. His dad, back in Duluth, celebrated on the front porch.
I don't know what possessed him to do this, but he went up and got his shotgun and he went out on the front porch and shot 3 times into the air.
USA captain Mike Eruzione called his teammates up to the top of the medal stand.
My mom is just, the tears are just flowing down her face. You could just see the pride, and that was cool.
Much was read into the American victory. Many saw a parable on the ice, a win for the American way of life. Those who played, though, think politics had only a little to do with it.
People see your skates. What do you want them to think?
I'd love them to think that it was a great group of U.S. citizens that did it. Good guys and a good, fun-loving team.